I'm visually impaired. Of course I'm gonna roll my eyes when people say I don't look blind, because what does blind even look
Ooh, I feel this so much for this video. It's relatable to me. Um, uh, and I just thought I'd record a sort of longer form video for TikTok just because it's on TikTok, and it might just be a weird portrait video that goes on YouTube too. But yeah. So much of this video is applicable to me, and I thought I'd just do something like this because I have been asked a couple times on this app, on YouTube, on other apps about my eyesight, and I think it's important. I'm not the sort of person to shy away from people who ask about it because I don't think there's much point to. Like it doesn't offend me. Like I was born registered blind, so yeah, like it's something that I've grown used to. I'm accustomed to it now. But yeah. And also, thankfully, I have never actually, at least as an adult, never been told I don't look blind because I think after a few minutes it's kind of obvious with how close I have to get to read things and to do things. But yeah, it's something that, it makes life hard, I think. I try and pretend that it doesn't, but it does. Life is a fucking pain in the ass, being blind, because I have nystagmus, which is the wobble of the eye. I don't know if you'll be able to see it if I bring hold the camera as still as I can and bring the camera close enough to my eye. I don't know if that's picking up on camera because my hands are also shaking. I don't know if my hands shaking is a sort of weird way my body has decided to counteract the shaking of my eye. I don't know, partly because I know other people who have the same condition as me. I know loads of people who have the same condition as me who don't have shaky hands. So it could just very much be me thing. But yeah, it basically means that my eye just won't focus on things at a distance. So I have to basically, if I'm reading like the bus timetable that's up on a bus shelter that's telling you the next couple buses, I basically have to stand right up and underneath that thing as I get comfortable. As I've mentioned, I have to get right, I have to, what's it called? Words. I have to get right up to a book or something else that I'm reading in order to read it, especially if it's standard sized font. I don't have anything nearby that I can read. Let me see, let's get let's just grab this, for example. If the camera's my eye, I would say I have to get vaguely to about there to read it, so there is maybe like a hand's width between my face and the thing that I am using / reading, which means that it makes things challenging. It means that when I'm reading, I can only read for relatively short stints between breaks. So it meant, as a teenager, I had extra time in exams because it took me so long to read and to read back what I had written. So yeah, there's that element of it. Like obviously I'm never going to be able to drive because of my eyesight. yeah, like I say, it's something that I'm used to now. It doesn't bother me. Like, that's a lie. It does bother me from time to time. There are still days. Like I say, I'm 28 now. I have been registered blind since I was born. Um, most days I just get on with my life. Most days I just do, like, obviously, as you've seen from this channel, I assemble miniatures. I play video games. And I do all of those unaided. I do all of those things on my own. But there are times where something will happen, and it could be something that, with or without my eyesight being fucked, I'd still probably do. But because of my eyesight, I blame it on my eyesight, and it can ruin that task or that process for me. Like, it's the reason why I have so many unpainted miniatures, because I cannot paint in a way that the final product is what is in my head. Like, I have a now relatively decent sized photon on me, 1,000 points, that I want to paint. I want to paint it by the end of the year, and the fact that I have 1,000 points at the end of January means I have 11 more months to paint that. You know, I could easily do 100 points a month, and that's not a lot to do a month for most people. But because of my eyesight, I'll probably do the very, very basic details of a miniature, and then I just, you know, I could do something that, you know, my hand might slip, or I might paint over a detail that I didn't notice, and I'll put that miniature down because I'll be disheartened, and it sucks. But yeah, 95% of the time, like I say, I get on perfectly fine. Like, you know, I'm ambulant. I get on my own. If I'm in a place that I'm not too familiar with, I might dig out my cane. But even then, like, there's that element of anxiety where, you know, I don't like the attention on me. So having that cane draws attention to me, where I'd especially in crowded spaces, where I'd just rather get the fuck out of there. Yeah, like, this has been a weird long one. I don't know what else to say. If you want more, like, if people have more questions, like I say, I'm happy to answer them. I just saw this video come across on my For You page, and I was like, I've been inspired to make a video. I've wanted to make this sort of video for a while, because, as I've mentioned, it is something that people have asked. It is people, or at the very least, either asked about or just commented on, both in terms of my eyesight and my hands. But yeah, that's it. Like I say, if people have more questions about my eyesight, feel free to ask, because I'm not shy about it. It's fucking obvious that I'm blind for the most part, unless I'm walking down the street. You know, someone might not notice, and that could be a whole. That's a whole rabbit hole in itself. Partly because I don't use a cane. In that regard, I don't look blind. But yeah. I've tried to end this video 2 or 3 times now, and I'm going to end it. So yeah, thanks for the original creator for creating that original video that I've stitched, and thank you guys for watching this long form video on TikTok, which I really did not think I'd be doing.